Hi, everyone. Welcome to another episode of It's Not Hard to Talk About. We welcome everyone as they come in. I first want to say thank you all for joining us and thank you for the comments. Thank you for all the messages. Thank you for all of the inboxes. It is greatly appreciated. Thank you for spreading the word to all my students, to all of the supporters. I really appreciate everyone that goes to the YouTube channel and subscribe to our page. That is where you will be able to find all of the episodes that we record right here on Instagram live at 6:30 Central Time and 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And so in the event that you miss this recording, feel free to subscribe to our channel so that you can get the notification that we are on. Again, I appreciate all of the support that comes from everyone in various areas. Thank you guys so much for letting us know that this is very helpful to you as well. I appreciate you joining in. Again, feel free to message us during the live and also feel free to inbox us at any given time if you have any questions. Once again, I thoroughly appreciate everything. Tonight is a very special episode. Not only am I bringing my big sister on, but she is also an RN and she has some very informative information to share with all of us, really, from a nurse's perspective. And I see that she is on the line, and so I'm going to invite her on shortly. Once again, let everyone know that we're on. Message them, do whatever it is that you need to do to make sure you let them know that the information that's going to be shared with us tonight as it pertains to statistics and COVID and medical, all things medical. Let's just put it like that. And so, hi, everybody. Hi, Alicia. Thank you so much for joining in. I see my sister is here. I'm going to go ahead and bring her on. Again, spread the word. Let everybody know we're here. And once again, I appreciate everybody that's on. Hi, everybody. I'm going to go ahead and wave. And then I am going to invite our special guest on shortly. And she should be... Okay, Sissy, I'm going to accept you. Hi, sis.
Hey, how you doing?
I
Hi,
am
everybody.
hi. I'm so excited about the
Yeah.
information that you're going to share with us tonight. Everybody, this is my big sister Tan. I don't care
Hey,
how many friends
everybody.
she got. She is my big sister Tan. How you doing, sis?
I'm good. I'm good. I'm blessed. So,
You blessed?
hmm
Okay, well, guys, this is my big
can you
sister
can you
Tan.
hear me?
She's
Can you hear me good?
Yes, I can hear you very
Okay.
well.
All right.
You have the Bluetooth in. How does the sound go through? It's kind of
No, I can hear you. That's why I was asking. Can you hear me? Because I can hear you clearly.
it sounds a little bit muffled with the static, so I don't know if you want to try it without the Bluetooth or and let me see the difference. Let's see what the difference would be.
Go ahead. You talking?
You can turn them on. Okay, so we have a bit of a pause, and she'll be back on shortly. We were just trying to make sure that the sound would come through either better through the Bluetooth or it will come through better with the original sound. So I'm going to go ahead and try to invite her back on. We have these wonderful, amazing technology. There you are.
Yeah, I can hear. I can hear you. It's still the same though for me. Can you
It's
hear me?
still the same. Okay.
No, I
All right.
can hear you. Yeah, I can hear you either way. But can you hear me is what I'm saying.
Yes, I can hear you, but is your Bluetooth connected right now?
No, I took it off.
Okay, well, either way is fine because it does sound the same. But if you're comfortable with the Bluetooth, you can go ahead and put them back in, sis. I don't mind.
It's okay. It's okay.
Okay. So,
So
yeah, how are you?
I'm good. I'm good. I'm blessed.
Listen, I was telling everyone that you are a registered nurse, and recently you made a transition from a station nurse. I don't know if that's the name for it, but then you began to travel because there is this worldwide burnout for nurses. Can you tell us a little bit why you made that transition from being at a station hospital to, making a decision to do travel nursing?
I've always wanted to. My end goal was to always travel.
Mhm.
And at first, just because I had kids, I made sure that my kids were stable going to school and I can be there for them. Even when the height of COVID hit and everybody started leaving the bedside, we became very, very short on our
Mhm.
ICU because a lot of people started running off to travel. But I didn't
Mhm.
run to travel exactly in 2020 when it first hit. I
Mhm.
stayed, was a staff nurse all the way until last year of August. And I made my decision because, both my kids were off, son got an apartment, Karan is off to college, and
Yeah.
I'm a empty nester. So it's just the perfect time. It was just perfect timing for me. It wasn't even about the money
Yeah.
because the end goal was always to travel. Before COVID hit, the end goal for me professionally was always to travel.
Mhm.
So I've always wanted to do it, and I am so pleased that I did do it. And I'm glad that I did, and now that COVID hit, and me traveling in the midst of the whole pandemic, me seeing so much, you have to give yourself some mental. You have to go and do a mental break at some point because it's a lot to see the different states and the way they handle COVID, and
Mhm.
the way that different cultures see COVID. It's
Mhm.
just so amazing to me because you can, because like I was recently in Hawaii, 3 weeks ago, less than 3 weeks ago,
Yeah.
and the locals over there, the
Mhm.
old the older Hawaiians, they do not believe in vaccination. They don't believe in
Mhm.
wearing a mask. They believe in, okay, we can drink this and we'll be okay. And it's a
Okay.
lot. You got some Jamaicans that feel that way. You got a lot of people that feel that way. I
Yeah.
was in A lot of people are set in their ways. A lot of people are like, you know what, it's not gonna bother me. I'm not gonna wear no mask. I don't believe in it. I don't
Yeah.
believe in vaccination. I'm not pushing vaccination on anybody at all. But I would say that I've gotten vaccinated, but I got
Yeah.
vaccinated not when it first came. I actually was too. One of the ones that listen.
Yeah. Me too, sis.
It's
I,
I
I was very skeptical.
for me right now for that me to put that in my body
Yeah.
until they said, look, Pfizer is approved. I
Right.
Everything in medicine is a glitch, and everything is not gonna be perfect at first. So that's why I was like, you know what? Let me just wait to see how many people gonna, hey, let me see if this thing gonna work on.
Exactly. Who is
And,
going to affect?
even with me being in the medical field, I didn't wait. I waited to get vaccinated. I was way in Dallas when I got vaccinated. So
Mhm.
my choice to get vaccinated was me seeing a 21-year-old die.
Oh wow.
For me, me coming on the ship, they time I'm coming on, and it's 6:45. Cold blue, not knowing that 21-year-old was gonna be my patient.
Oh wow.
Mother of two, 20 years old, gonna be 21 years old, and then I have one that's gonna be 24 years old this week. I'm like, wow. I
Definitely.
to see we working on this 21-year-old, but me being so emotionally attached to her age. Period. She's an adult, but her age, because I was like, because that's a child to me.
Mhm.
It broke me down so bad because her mom was there like in tears and nobody could comfort her. And I really felt for the mom. I had to tell the charge nurse, listen, I gotta take a break and do a mental clean
Right.
my head from what just happened and what I can't wrap my brain around this, to where a 21-year-old is dying from COVID.
Wow.
Think that, okay, and like I even told my sons, that you guys are not exempt. You're not exempt. It's no age, it's no race, it's nothing. It doesn't have a way where it's gonna pick you and your culture to say, okay, this is what's gonna happen. It's just not gonna happen that way. We are at some point gonna get COVID. A lot of people, some people have not having COVID, the whole COVID, and
The whole
kudos to you, because you must be doing something really, really good. I caught COVID myself, being very parent. And I didn't get COVID from my job. I got COVID from my son hanging out, thinking that he can hang out, he could be okay, and that he can't be touched. Okay, yeah, he didn't get sick, but you bring it to me, I get a little sick. Okay, it didn't do me really bad.
Right.
Because I had already prepared my body to take I got plenty sleep. I drank plenty of fluid. I drank ginger tea. I did the turmeric. I did the echinacea. I did a bunch of that stuff, and I started putting that stuff in my body. But what I must say is the fact that while we took COVID for us to do that, we should have been taking care of our bodies from the beginning.
Absolutely.
Building our body up to be a defense mechanism for any disease or anything that comes, and make sure that you get your checkups regularly, and that you're not finding something out about your body and then it's too late. Not even it's a lot of things: diabetes, hypertension, strokes.
That makes a difference.
Yeah, you got walking around with blood pressures 200 over 110, and they walking around and they okay because they don't feel it. But by the time they get that headache and by the time they get dizzy, then they come to the ER, and then it's like, when we take the blood pressure, wow, how long you been feeling this headache? Oh, 3 days. Really? Wow, you could have stroked out. But they don't know. And our Black are very, 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 very very, very, it's the main ones that say, okay, you know what? Our Black men, oh my God, our Black men don't like to get, really don't like to go to the doctor, don't want to get a colonoscopy because they don't want nobody up their butt. But yes,
I heard about that.
I mean, that's the only way we're going to have to find out what's going on with you.
Because there's no other way to do a colonoscopy.
No other way. And you feel like somebody violated you or something like that, and doctors are there to do a job. Ain't nobody violating. You saw one butthole, you done seen enough. We seen too many. Okay, so it's not. So with men,
you don't get joy out of seeing somebody's butthole.
I really, really, really stress to you guys to go and get a physical, go and get a checkup yearly. I was told, I'm 50 and I know, and I'm like, you know what? My doctor told me, listen, you don't have to come and see me every year. You can come see me every 2 years. I'm like, no, once I get a certain, even though I don't have no high blood pressure, I don't have any comorbidity,
which is a blessing.
I still feel like I need to go to the doctor and see my doctor on a regular basis, because I am a woman. I still got my ovaries. I still got so we have to check up that stuff, because those things are very important. Breast exams and mammograms, those things are very important.
Absolutely.
If you have family, go and get your toxins checked. Don't be afraid to tell your PCP, listen, my mom, auntie, or my whoever in the family did have colon cancer, that did have breast cancer. You go and you be an advocate for yourself. Go and do those things to take care of yourself. As far as you, so if anything was to come and try to break you down immune system wise, you're gonna be built like a rock. And also prayer.
Right. Absolutely.
I think right now what's happening is a lot of people are very, very complacent right now. They are so comfortable. I've been to the store. I see now we have Lysol stocked on the shelves, and at one point, 2020, we didn't have everybody.
None. You couldn't even find one can.
Out of tissue, out of everything. It's like now you got to full chef. I'm like, well, dang, what's the urgency? Nobody have no urgency anymore because the news is not reporting that China has shut down. China has
Wow.
as of 2022.
Yes.
These things are not being known to us because they don't want us to panic. They don't want you
Right.
to go to where they want you, not sure if they want it to start. Okay, I feel like the preventive measures for not, if anybody slip over from China, they said you can't go over to China. I had to make sure that I got the statistics right before I come on here because I want to make sure that I'm telling you guys what needs to be said because
Right.
now China has set up barricades and they are reporting new 6,000 a day for COVID cases.
Wow.
90% of the deaths of the COVID cases over there are the unvaccinated. And those are
Wow.
elderly over 80 or 80
Mm-hmm.
or those older that set in their ways again
Mm-hmm.
that don't want to be vaccinated. Those are the ones, 90% out of those that total that died is not vaccinated. And
Right.
those are and not that saying, okay, you get vaccinated, you're not going to get COVID. No, that's not true. But
Right.
prevent you from being on a ventilator, what I've
Mm-hmm.
noticed, and this is firsthand knowledge because when I was in Hawaii, the numbers were not as drastic. This is the U.S. Hawaii is U.S. So everybody would know that.
Right.
They are very strict over there. They want you to have your vaccination, and then they would not let you come into a restaurant without your mask on, one, and without you having your COVID card. If you
So
have your
you could travel to Hawaii,
you can
but
travel
there's a possibility that you cannot go into the restaurants.
if you go over to Hawaii without being vaccinated or don't have a negative COVID test, you're going to be quarantined for 5 days. And
Mm-hmm.
that's the measures that they are taking. And then also a lot of states are taking that, like even in Bahamas and all the rest of those, like some of those areas, they will not let you come in because you still have an urgency of nurses that are saying, okay, these are the people that's coming over, traveling to us that are catching COVID. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and they are trying to prevent that because they're a vacation island, just like we are. Like we
Right.
had all of these spring breakers here, you know, tons of them, and they
Lots.
come around, no mask on, no nothing, and think it's okay. But COVID was right there, but nobody
Right.
about it no more because it's
Right.
not as bad as it was.
Mm-hmm.
20 where everybody was so scared because you every time you turn around you got classmates your age dying, your
Wow.
mom, got so many people, oh my god, and just in panic because even once you know that you got COVID, it attacks your mind because you start thinking, you know what, dang, what makes me special that I got COVID and I didn't
This
die
is true.
and somebody else died? Like you start panicking. I
Grateful.
can tell you honestly, when I caught COVID 2020, I
No doubt.
was it 2021? I don't know, 2020.
It was 2020. It wasn't 2021. I think it was, yeah, it
2020.
actually was 2021
No,
because it was a domino. It was one of those domino effects.
2020. Yeah.
Yes,
Because
2020
right, of
is
course.
when you caught it. Yes.
So when I
And
caught it,
Quran.
yeah, June or July something.
Yeah.
So my whole thing was when I caught it, I was afraid to go to sleep because I felt like I was gonna stop breathing in my sleep. And I'm a nurse. I started panicking because I started feeling myself like, oh my God, why I feel short of breath? Should I go to the hospital? Should I do this? Should I do that? But guess what? It was a mind thing. My mind was just blown like, dang, I got COVID. And for you to say you got COVID and then you don't want to, some people don't want to tell people they got COVID because they feel they treat you some type of way. COVID is not.
It's true.
I
It's
mean,
true.
I don't talk about AIDS no more, but everybody like COVID. Oh my God, it's a secret. It's not a secret, especially when you come into folks' house that has adults and you come in and you coming around them and you've been exposed to somebody that have COVID. That is very disrespectful, because you
Right.
how they gonna be able to handle COVID as opposed to you handling COVID. If somebody comes in your house and just, hey, they know they got COVID, and then they come in your house and sit down and they know they got COVID. That's very disrespectful.
Let me
Really.
tell you something. If I can interject for a moment, I was going through my Facebook and I saw one of my friends' husbands. And I said, oh my God, I went to their wedding 3 years ago. And she has like a 2 or 3 year old or something to that effect. And I said, oh, let me reach out to them. And I inboxed her husband and I said, hey, how y'all doing? Tell your wife I said hi. He said, oh, you didn't know I lost my wife. And I say, what are you talking about? Because this is a really good friend of mine from Fort Lauderdale. We went to church together there. And he said, you didn't know I lost my wife? And I said, when did you lose your wife? He said, in September. And here's the shocking thing. He said that she wanted to go get her hair plaited because they do good hair in Fort Lauderdale. But the person, the hair braider, had COVID. And at that time, she was coughing all over my friend Jadette. And what happened was Jadette brought that home to her husband. She also brought it home to her baby. Her baby was 3 years old. So everybody in the house contracted COVID because the stylist refused to tell her that she was, she had COVID. And so here's the thing that got me, Tan. She caught COVID in August, the same time I caught COVID in August. She died in September.
Wow.
I'm talking about the same time that I had COVID. Do you understand what I'm saying? You said that earlier you said no one's exempt from this. And you also said, what makes me special?
Right.
And even in that moment, I just started crying because I was in disbelief. I'm like, she had COVID the same time I had COVID. This August, September 10, that's like a month in, she passed away.
Right.
And so I'm sitting there like, God, I give you the praise because it's a mental thing. Because I even had to call you like, Tam, what's going on? I don't want to fall asleep. I was very afraid because this thing was new to all of us, but it blew my mind how someone can be positive and have this COVID, be infected with COVID, still go to work, still cough over people, don't care. That's how it passed along. Right. And I'm like, what word can you give our audience as a nurse? What can you tell them?
I tell people, listen, continue to wash your hands, continue to wear your mask, continue to do everything you were doing in the panic of 2020. Because if China shut down, it's just at a time for this thing to slip through. They're trying to contain it now, but we don't know if God, listen, let me tell you something. Let me tell you how powerful this thing is, because now they're coming up with Delta. Now they're coming up with Omicron. They have all of these different viruses. They said SA virus. And hey, now you coming up with all of these names, and then you got D1, D2. Listen, continue to do as if you did when it was 20, because at the same time you going in the grocery stores, people looking at you, people looking at me. I got a mask on my face. You don't understand
they
that.
Do.
First, I'm trying to protect you. You don't know. I've worked with COVID patients, so I'm gonna have my mask on to protect you. But you don't understand why people have their masks on. Don't mock anybody that walks around with their mask on, because
it feels funny when you walk in the store and you're the only one there with a mask. Everybody does look at you like, hey.
Yeah. Oh, but the thing is, guess what, baby? I want to live. I want to live to where I can go and take some more vacations. Okay. I don't care how you look at me with a mask in public. I don't. I really don't. The thing is, it's just so.
Okay, your phone cut off for a second, sis. I'm not sure if at the volume, something happened with the volume. Okay, there it is. Wait, hold on 1 second, sis, because something's happening with the volume. Yeah, I can't, for some reason, I can't hear you on this end.
Right.
It,
You can hear me now?
okay, yes. Hmm.
No, my phone was ringing. That's probably why you couldn't hear me.
Oh, okay, got it.
That's Tanya trying to call me, so I'll call her later. Um,
Who is
my
another nurse that
right,
we grew up with.
right.
So
That's
I'm
right.
sure she has a
You
story
know,
to tell too as well.
right.
Here's the thing, Tan, the question that I have. I have so many questions for you. And listen, everybody's on. Alicia is on. Alicia's RN too as well from
Right.
Orlando. You remember her?
If you guys,
Yeah. And
feel free to ask me. I don't mind.
here's the thing. Lately, when I put on the mask, I feel like I'm choking. Like I feel like something is in this area, like I'm suffocating. So I don't know if that's because I've worn the mask so long that now when I put on the mask, after I take it off, I just start coughing. And I'm not sure what that reaction is versus if I'm in my classroom and I don't have the mask on, I don't do the coughing. But the moment I put it on just to go to the restroom or just to walk around the school in some way, by the time I get back to my classroom and take it off, I feel like I've just released myself from suffocating. And then after that, I start coughing. Is there a particular reason why that's happening?
you need to probably do some nasal saline in your nose, each day to try to like open up your a little bit more, because I don't have that. I wear masks 12 hours a day, even
Right.
than that. I'm not sure if I'm used to it already, as opposed to you, because we have to wear N95s. Those blue masks and those regular masks that everybody put on, that's just a paper to what we have to put on. I mean,
Okay.
it is burning hot when we have to put, we put our masks on. It's hot. We have to put a gown on. We have to, like I said,
Load up.
from when I was in Hawaii, I only actually worked with one COVID patient. I was so surprised because the COVID numbers were not high over there. And I was like, well,
Okay.
what am I on a FEMA contract for? So my whole thing is now, right now, the nurses are not on COVID crisis contracts. It is more so give the nurses the respect, give us the money that we deserve, because
Deserve.
we've been fighting this thing half the time in and all of this gear, face mask, face shield, mask,
Yeah. It's a lot.
you sweating, burning hot, probably worse than a contractor out on a burning hot day. You burning hot, and then now you don't want to pay the staff nurses what they're worth. That's a lot of work. Some people don't
Yeah.
understand. I'm an ICU nurse, so ICU trying to keep somebody alive. 2 or 3 COVID patients when I was in Dallas, that was the toughest assignment of my life ever, because
Mm.
patients were dying every day, 3 or 4 a day. I was working 6 days a week with 1 day off. 6 days.
Hmm.
So imagine 3
Wow.
a day on my shift. That 12 hours, 3 patients died. By the next day you come back, you got 3 more that's replacing that 3. You got patients down in the ER, got to be set down there because we don't have enough room and won't
Wow.
have enough staff, so they wonder why. Okay, yeah, they paying the nurses all of this money, but at what cost? Of course, it really, really is a lot of work. It's a lot of work. It's not, you're not going to sit there and say, okay. And to my new nurses that wants to be nurses, or you are babies in nursing, trust
Yeah.
me, you have to love this field other than the money, because it's not sometimes always about the money, because you have
Wow.
to be able to love this
Talk
thing.
about that.
You have to be able to care for people in a compassionate way, have
Wow.
empathy, put yourself in their shoes,
Mhm.
make sure, like, if that old lady that's laying in that bed, I look at her like she's my grandma or my
That's
mom,
right. That's right.
like such, because I want somebody to treat my mom the same way,
Exactly.
and I want
Exactly.
that grandma the same way, whatever. Like, I want to be treated the same way. If I was in that bed, you go and you put yourself in their shoes, and that's what I do all day.
Right.
Listen,
Hmm.
but This is how I want to be treated. I don't want you to just come in there and see, because even during COVID time, like even when COVID was at its worst, COVID is not gone, people. I just want y'all to
Right.
know it's not
Right.
gone.
Talk about that. Talk about that.
Think that it's gone is not. It's masked. They put a blind shoulder on us right
My.
walking around in the club and you everywhere. You don't have a mask on. So it looks like we back outside. Yeah, we back
My.
out. You know, listen, my son just now, just a disclaimer, just want to be very, very transparent with you guys because COVID is not.
And he's
My
on.
20-year-old comes home, he partying on South Beach, wherever, Wynwood, he COVID. Okay,
Yeah.
guess what? Now I got recently Sunday just passed. I have to go and take a COVID test. I'm not even gonna do the home COVID test. No, I'm gonna go down there. Man, let me tell you how many people are not being tested.
Man.
Not going to get tested anymore because the lines. You can walk. And the lady was like, "Can I help you?" They rushing you. Like I remember standing in line for 2 to 3 hours to try to get a test. And now it's like no line at all. So nobody has no urgency anymore. Nobody wants to get. You just don't know. You got all of these Miami spring breakers that came down here, and then now, you don't think COVID was out there? Yes, it was. But my son caught it. He had no symptoms. He felt like, okay, I got. The next day he good. Okay, so now you
which
got,
is a blessing. So the vaccinations are doing,
and he was fully
are making a difference, right, sis?
It does make a difference. It makes a difference with you being on a vent and not ventilated. A ventilated patient is when you have to be intubated, that you had double pneumonia. You know, if you had double pneumonia and numbers are not being reported, it's not being reported because they don't want to scare us.
And then she's also saying that home COVID test has suppressed the true numbers. You can keep talking, sis. I'll read the information to you.
COVID test, actually, when my son tested positive, he had to report it. Now, mind you, if you got somebody that had the home test and they didn't report it, then that's on them. But then guess what? Those same people that can get a home positive test, they also say, listen, we don't, I don't believe that test is real. Maybe that's something, and I don't know. I don't know.
Because I have a home COVID test, but when I showed it to the doctor, she was like, "Oh, those are not accurate."
That's what they are accurate. I went when my son tested positive, I actually took the home test. I'm negative. Michael's negative. I got both of my kids down. Michael's negative. I'm like, listen, I'm gonna take myself and my mom down to take the test anyway.
Did y'all?
We took the test and we were
negative. Mom's okay?
Yeah, everybody's okay. No harm, no foul. Karan wasn't even around mom anyway. He only saw her like before he started hanging out, you know. And the thing about that, because the numbers are not being reported, you got some people that are walking. The same people were walking Walmart with no mask on, and walking around touching the baskets. We are so lax now that we don't even wipe the baskets down anymore.
I do. I still wipe the baskets down.
I'm just letting you know what I observed and what I see from like we are not allowed to not have our mask on unless we're on lunch break. Okay, so if you're on lunch break, then yes, you could take your mask off. Some hospitals, I think they said that they are not they don't have to wear their mask on they thinking about not letting them have their mask on, but I feel like that's a big mistake because guess what? You got
who saying the hospital is saying the nurses or the patients?
No, the nurses. The patients. When the patients are in the room, you come in their room. They don't have a mask on. You have all your stuff on, but they don't because we're protecting ourselves, and the patients don't have to be in their room with a mask on. But if they have COVID and they go to a test, then they put them a mask on their face or whatever. And it used to be like, well, they wiping all the elevators down and wiping everything down once they put the patient in the elevator because they don't know if airborne contact, all in the beginning. Then nowadays, like now CDC and saying when you do contract COVID, it's only 5 days that you okay, you could go back to work after 5 days. Are you serious?
Yeah, what made that switch? Is it because is it because of that's because people are vaccinated when they get it, they lowered the numbers, or what's
No,
the difference between 5 days and before the 10 to 14 days?
they cut the time in half because science is science. Science is saying, okay, now they think they got this thing figured out, which I don't think that they have the whole thing figured out, because we wouldn't be having Delta. We wouldn't be having Omicron. You know, we got Omicron. I'm not sure if I'm saying it right. Omicron or something like Omicron.
Girl, I be saying Omarion. That's the singer.
Right.
That's the R&B singer, and I know that ain't it.
I still be
But
positive.
it's Omicron, I think. Don't ask me. I ain't no nurse.
Listen, no, I was just answering her question. After 5 days and you still positive, of course, because the antibodies are still there. But they're saying in that 5 days, you are after that 5 days, you are not contagious anymore to where you can't affect anybody. Know you're positive and you go back to work, even though you got a snotty nose and you running and you coughing.
So you can't affect anyone?
The scientists are saying that. I'm not saying it, because I feel like as long as you still have symptoms, you should stay behind home.
Okay.
You should nobody grocery store. Once you say you got COVID, you shouldn't be you shouldn't be at nobody party. You should not be keeping that stuff a secret from nobody. Think about it, and the sad truth about that is that people are so, are so lax. They don't know how bad it is, the way you don't know you got COVID and you feel okay. But for you to come around somebody's mom and somebody, is very disrespectful and it's not right. Because if that person go and died, just like the girl who went and got her hair braided.
That's crazy to me. I was in the daze the whole time, and the reason why I was in the daze is because I'm like, God, this is crazy, you know? Right. And even in that moment, it's like I had to deal with faith versus worry. And my mind was, in between phases. Like, God, I trust you and I believe you. And I know you can save me, but yet I wasn't sleeping that night because I was afraid to fall asleep like that. And I had went through oh my God, I had never went through a whirlwind in my mind before when I contracted COVID. So to hear her story and to see that she left behind a 3-year-old daughter, to the point where her husband is like, I don't know how to take care of a 3-year-old baby girl, that he had to invite his sisters in, his cousins, his mom to come and help take care of the baby. And all I can say is, God, I thank you. Right. And not only just for me, but for my entire family. Mom, you, Karan, Mike, Deja, like everybody, aunts, Luli. I mean, they all caught COVID and we're all okay. Right. And that's only by the grace of God, sis. That's only by the grace of God.
Right. And the like I said before,
I got it, Tan. Keep talking. Keep talking, Tan. I want to read it to you.
My whole thing is like you said, well, what should we do? We should continue that same urgency that we had in 2020. And that's continue to drink your
wow.
tea. Continue to strengthen your body, strengthen your mind, to say, okay, you know what, I can fight this thing. Say a prayer in the morning. I say a prayer before I go to work, and I'm like, you know what, God, I can make a person life today, being a nurse, and I touch these patients and like, listen, I like, Lord, just heal this person
in Jesus' name.
I've gotten so many praises when I was up in Dallas. And
I remember you were saving lives and turning lives around because they were praying before they actually went to work.
They were not able to come. Family members are not able to come to the hospital. So
yeah,
family at that time, And you got some people that's scared. They in the hospital and they
You
like,
don't know.
this guy, he's like, oh, he's panicking, but he can't breathe. He's on a BiPAP. He's not intubated. And I'm like trying to get him to calm down. I'm like, listen,
It's a
sir,
story.
if you don't relax your mind, you're
Ooh.
gonna and you can't breathe, because now you're putting it in your mental that I can't breathe and I'm gonna die. You are speaking death over your body. Don't do
Come
that.
on.
Say that I'm gonna be okay.
Words have power.
Right. This guy was like, I'm gonna die. Am I gonna die? Am I gonna die? Oh, I feel like I can't breathe. I'm like, listen, you know what's your problem? You panicking right now. You have anxiety right now. That's your problem. Because right now you're at 100%.
That is a part of it, though. That's a part of it.
You go panicking like that and you put in your mind, your body gonna start reacting to what your mind trying to tell it. Now, mind you, if I'm your nurse, I'm gonna say, listen, doc, don't intubate this guy, because once those patients was getting intubated, which is the tube down their throat, that was like, you might as well just say, because their lungs start getting consolidated from them, and then it's just like Jello, no air getting out, and it's boom, it's like, and it's a domino effect, and then multi-organ failure, everything started going bad, and you're like, oh my God, it's just terrible. But it's just like I even told Tanya, I said, Tanya, it's very important between assignments to take a mental break.
You're gonna have to, because I remember when you first started, you took a mental break, and I want you to tell us about that. But I want to get to a point that I see here on here. I remember us saying we're going to talk about how it was mandatory for nurses to get vaccinated, because what Alicia said in her comment, she said that her niece was working for a nursing home unit, and it was mandatory for her to return back to work after 5 days of still being positive. And so I want to tackle that, and then I also want to talk about how it was mandatory for nurses to be vaccinated. And do you think that was a good idea now that we look at it in hindsight? Because you're saying that it makes a difference between being ventilated or not, if you were hospitalized. So
speak on the fact that the mandated vaccination. I actually didn't agree with, because you shouldn't force nobody to do anything to their body that they don't want to have.
Okay.
Because it's your choice at the end of the day. We believe it's a higher power than COVID, and we gonna fight COVID. You can't force me something that I don't want.
All right.
Got to say, you know what? Okay, I want it, but I don't want you to force me. And then you telling me, you talking about at least 90% of the nurses that they need their job. So you trying to
true.
Mandatory or you lose your job. That's not what we're fighting for now. It's the fact that mandatory vaccinations are allowing these nurses that don't want to get vaccinated. Now Jackson is telling them, you got to get vaccinated or you got to have an exemption. Now, Jackson was one of the last hospitals to actually say that. Now, other places all over Dallas, Hawaii, all of them are Oregon. Oregon lost so many nurses. I was in Oregon and we're working. This guy was like, this is my last day. Me and my wife, I am not working for a hospital that's mandating me to get a vaccination.
Wow.
So he's like, listen, we were there, we there, and they like, we doing a whole mass walkout. But guess who walked? All us Black nurses making travel nursing money. But the whole point of the thing is, those nurses did not want to get mad. They don't want you to mandate. I don't want you to tell me what to do to my body. And that is just on facts. And that's true.
That makes sense. Yes.
And also, when I did have to call off of work, and just answer your question, oh, you got to come back. My job told me I got to come back too. But guess what, Alicia? I got a PCP. And that say, listen, I'm going to write you a note. If you still feeling symptoms, stay home. That's what your niece should do. Listen, your PCP, they can't fight that. Because if her PCP say, I don't care what the CDC say. She still feeling sick. Just say you feel sick, sit home for 5 more days. That's how I feel.
But here's the thing, sis.
A whole month. I'm like, listen, I don't feel good. I have diarrhea. I still don't feel like I need to be around my colleagues like this. This don't make no sense.
That's good.
At 5-10 days, they said 10 days, Tangela, you need to come back. How you feel? I feel terrible. What do you mean? I'm not coming back.
Okay. Well, what about, because I know with educators and the educators fields, whether you was a teacher, a principal, a counselor, whatever the case may be, they only pay for 10 days. And then if you take more than that 10 days, now you got to come out of your own, your own paid time. So what about those people? What do you suggest, sis? Because I do understand staying home, and I do understand them telling their PCP, write this letter because I don't want to infect anybody else. But what about those people who feel like, if they don't go back to work, and they don't have time and their employer don't pay them, that, they're there so that they can get paid. So right. What do you suggest then?
Well, it's and it all depends on, because I'm reading a question. My PCP will not write me an exemption. Actually, your PCP, probably religious exemptions.
Right.
If you're talking about a religious exemptions, you have to actually, now they want you to prove that you have an exemption. And a lot of PCPs are pushing this vaccination on you. So they're not going to write the exemptions, so in some take exemptions at all. So that's why you have us nurses that's traveling, they're filling in for those nurses that now they so short. What's going to happen is the mandate is going to go away, because you're going to have to pay nurses over $100 everywhere. And then now we gotta be going to every state working, because now you don't have no nurses, because you laying them off because they're not getting vaccinated.
Wow.
That, because then you're gonna have those same nurses that's not vaccinated travel. You losing nurses all over the world. So now you losing nurses.
Right.
And it's gonna go away. Somebody said on there, they said they mandated them to have a vaccination and they work from home. That is like ludicrous. I've never heard of such a thing. That's crazy. And then the thing is, now people do, if you're 40, 30 years old and you a new nurse and you mandate me to get a vaccination, and then I only have my license as a nurse, and then I can't work anywhere. I gotta feed my family. I gotta do this. I gotta do that.
Right.
Comes pressure on you to get vaccinated, because I gotta make money. At some point, be like, okay, I'm vaccinated. Now, mind you, I didn't get vaccinated for that reason. I got vaccinated for my own personal reasons.
Yeah, me too.
Get vaccinated right away. I was one of you guys that didn't want to get vaccinated.
Me too, Tan.
I put nothing in my body.
Me either, girl. I'm a health fanatic. I'm such a health fanatic. But what made me get vaccinated is I was so scared with this COVID. If I could be transparent like you are, I was afraid, because it was something new. You hear about so many deaths, and I said I will never go through that again. And so that was one of the reasons why I made the decision to get vaccinated. And I'm a health fanatic. You know me. And I'm vitamin D down, A to Z. But it scared me so bad that I'm like, I'll never go through this again.
Right.
Like, so whatever.
Like me, and then the thing is, if you guys to think about the fact that now the jobs are gonna say, oh, you need to, in order for you to work. Now, what is the world gonna come to? You can't force somebody to put anything in their body that they
can't force. I agree.
I agree. It's like you hanging their job over their head, and this is the way they gotta feed their family. That is the
that part.
That's the sad reality of the whole thing, of people making choices. You got to have a choice about your body. You know, now we
And
look
that should never be taken away.
at a side time, because then now you don't even know how long term is this thing going to affect us in the long run. We don't really know. You know, and the thing is, yeah, yet you see that it is helping in such a way that the people that are vaccinated are not getting on the vents. And then you have some people that was vaccinated that died. Some people say, well, why get vaccinated then if I'm gonna die anyway? You got those same people that probably had way core mobilities, way more than you know. People don't walk with no sign on their head say, I got cancer, I got this, I got that. People ain't telling you what they got, and that's their business. It's HIPAA.
Right.
But when it comes to COVID, yeah, you better tell me, because I don't come around me and you got COVID and you give me a hug. Don't do that. That's just not cool. Now,
so it becomes a moral issue.
About if you don't want nobody to know you got COVID, stay in the house. Stay in the house. Stay in the house, or stay with a mask on. Stay with your gloves on. Don't go around people walking in the Walmart thinking it's okay for you to walk around with COVID. That's not
right.
fair.
Put a mask on. That's the least. That's the least you could do for people. That's the least you could do for people.
Because they have to go around their family, okay? And you know, some of the older people are set in their ways and they are not getting vaccinated, and they feel like, listen, God got me, and that's what it is, and that's all right. That's their way of saying, okay, this is what's going to protect me. Some people put on a whole full body armor of God, and that's fine. It's perfectly fine. I do that way along with the vaccination. So it's just one of those things that you gotta be mindful of when you start touching stuff and you get so complacent with everything, and you walking around Walmart, you don't see nobody with no mask. Oh shoot, let me take this thing off, I can't breathe. No, still be that same old, listen, germaphobe, I'm wiping the buggy down.
I'm still wiping it down, sis.
At one point, Walmart didn't even have no more hands.
Walmart don't have wipes.
Everybody walking in Walmart, hand sanitizer. Girl, right now they walking past the hand sanitizer, touching on the buggies. Everybody is so
just tired, girl. If I could be transparent, people just tired. Like we went through this for a long time, like, you know, and I get it. I get it. But we covering up. We was home. We shut in the house.
We talking about 2 years in, and we still in a mask. And we
tried.
Now you got China that shut down.
Yeah.
What's happened possibly in June, July, when flu season come back up? What's gonna happen? Are we still gonna be? Are we gonna go back on shutdown? The kids ain't gonna be able to do this. I was not able to graduate. I wasn't able to see him go to the prom because of COVID. You know, and it's a lot of stuff happened in 2020. I have friends that lost their moms, friends that lost their brothers, sisters.
Crazy.
Listen, 2020 was
crazy. I was so ready to get that year over with.
Now you got people that still are passing away, but nobody ain't gonna tell you, like, but it ain't nobody. It's nobody business.
Hi, Michelle Gardner.
Hi, Kelly. Listen, so the thing is, it's and nobody don't need to walk around and tell you their business of what people died from. Because if you look at somebody that's 30 years old that passed away, you be like, dang, well, why she died? Right now, just pray for the family. It don't matter why that person died. How they died, they died of COVID, did they do? It's just not your business. That's how I feel. Because guess what? Life is too short, and we are living in our last days, and I must say that because I see the sign of the times. So, okay, now you're going to make me put something in my body. Well, you feel like we're going to start, now they're going to put a chip up under us, and then we got to walk, or you can't walk.
Talk about it.
I feel like, listen, we living in our last days, so everybody get ready for the wrath of God, because that's what's happening, baby.
Ooh, Tan. We setting up for the time. You know, Dr. Smith taught us about that at Apostolic Revival Center, honey. Because he taught us. He told us about that.
You got people jumping at their death. 2 beauty pageant queens jumping to their death. Like, what pushed you to do that? Like, you don't know what people going through at the end of the day. So you can't, you just pray for folks. Don't
You
talk.
have to.
Pray for folks, and we pray that this thing do go away, or science get a hold of it, or whatever, and that it don't get to the point where you won't force something else in my body in order for me to work. That's just right.
That's good right there.
And I'm like,
it shouldn't have to be
right. And the thing is, me taking advantage of the travel, I'm taking advantage of my travel assignment because now I can take care of some bigger things so we set me up. I'm 50. I'm like, okay, you know what? I could retire in 10 years. But this is something that I've already professionally said I was going to travel before the
You did say that.
I always said I wanted to be a travel nurse. This is something that I've always wanted, but guess what? I always put my kids first before me.
Of course.
For me.
They're grown now.
They're grown. So guess what? I could have been traveling. Them kids don't even want to see me half time. So I gone on. I'm jumping on a plane on Sunday, going way to New Mexico, going to talk. I don't mean no habla español, but guess what?
Yeah. Not no habla español.
And I never. New Mexico. I've been to Hawaii before, but this was just a whole totally different to work and to be able to enjoy life and work. This is the best ever, and I encourage the newbies, the new nurses who want to do it and who want to travel. I know it's kind of scary, and it is because I'm very new at traveling, but I'm not a new nurse by any means. But if you're new, 2 years in, if you got 2 years experience and you want to go and travel, because you're going to need those 2 years experience, because once you get to their hospital, they're short for a reason. They don't have the resources to train you. They sometimes train you for 4 hours and then you the nurse for the rest of the day. You don't even know. I'm like, listen, I told the lady in Hawaii, listen, tell me where the crash cart is so I know my patient code, I know where to get it. That's right. I know how to be a nurse. But then some nurses that don't know how, and you got different people in different facilities, and you go into these people facilities and you looking lost because you only been a nurse for a year. I suggest you get your experience first and then go, because it is not for the weak.
It is not for the weak at heart. And I'm going to do 2 things with you, sis. One, I started off in nursing school with you, remember? I saw the sight of blood and I was out of there. So it's not for everybody.
It's not now, and that's why, listen,
that lady asked me to take a needle and stick it in somebody's arm, and I was like, this is not for me. So I commend you and all of the nurses that are on this line. Thank you guys for bringing in your questions. I thank you so much for participating.
Answer the questions. I know they said vaccination status. What is?
Well, the question is, sis. The question is, what variant hit China, and what is their vaccination statistics?
Their vaccination
to where they had to shut down.
Okay. The actual virus that hit Hong Kong, actually, they said that it was Omicron with Delta, so it's combined together. So they're trying to get a hold of that now, and 90% of the deaths are the people that's not vaccinated. They said that they have 50% of their people that are fully vaccinated, so they only have half of their people that's vaccinated now, and even the vaccinated folks are getting COVID, but they are asymptomatic, meaning that they don't have any symptoms, and they are not being hospitalized. The ones that don't have the symptoms, the ones that have the symptoms and they can't breathe or whatever, they're finding that the people that are vaccinated are not being intubated as much as the people that are not vaccinated.
Oh, I see.
Once you get on the vent, it's very hard to get those people off the vent. People have come off the vent, and people have escaped death. I had a patient that I surely thought was going to die, and I'm telling you, oh lie, because I'm an ICU nurse. When I tell you, when I spoke with his wife, she would call me, and I would give her my personal phone number, and I'm like, listen, call me, because this lady was nervous, and actually, he's there by his scalp. He's afraid, he's scared, you know. And then I had him to go on a vent. Patient went on a vent. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm going to lose this man. After talking to him and telling him, you know, don't be afraid, blah, blah, blah. A lot of that stuff was hitting to my heart. Like, it was playing with my heart. So to where mentally I was like getting discouraged. Like, God, do I even want to be a nurse anymore?
Wow.
And God had me at that facility for a reason.
Yes, he did, Tan.
He would pray every morning and pray that we are competent nurses, that we can take this and that, whatever. So I felt a hero, and I'm like, you know what, this is my calling. This is what
it is. This is true.
And it's just sad that how many people had to die before they had to find out like what medication. Now they are doing now they're doing a medication. They didn't say the name. They said it's a name. They said it's a synthetic antibodies that they're now trying to give the patients so that it can fight off the COVID. I'm not sure of the name. It says it's a synthetic antibodies. They didn't say the name, and that's what China's doing right now about the Delta and the Omicron.
Wow.
Those statistics, and really, they said they have 6,000 cases a day. They didn't say like how many, but they just say 90% of their deaths, 300 a day, from hitting earlier this month in Hong Kong. 300. Wow. That is, now they are testing 300 people a day are coming up positive. Between Hong Kong, China, all around China, that's the number. But they are putting up barricades and nobody can fly over. If they say they are shutting down the travel. So you can't go over to China right now if you wanted to. You can't go near there because guess what? They're trying to keep those people out. But then we need to keep China out of here too.
I agree 100%, Tan. 100%.
We don't want y'all over here either.
Like, that's all I'm saying. If you barricading and blocking.
But we need to be barricading ourselves too, if that's the case. But we had like all these spring breakers in Miami. So people are like, okay, they flying, we still wearing masks on the plane. But then guess what? Oh, you could be taking your mask off once long as you sipping or you eat it. People eating the whole 3 hours. No, put your mask on, buddy. Come on. You know what I'm saying? You ain't eating the whole 3 hours. And you ain't gonna be sitting next to me eating the whole 3 hours too.
That you better put your feet out.
Between, they say, then put your mask on. You ain't sipping like this for a whole 3 hours. Come on, you ain't eating for a whole 3 hours. Put your mask back on. You won't be there.
I have a question, sis. Because see, you work in the medical field. Alicia works in the medical field. People who work in the medical field, they see how detrimental this is. They see the numbers. They see how people are dying. They see how 21-year-olds all the way up to 70, 80-year-olds, people with underlying issues are dying. And this is why you're here, to let us know as a reminder that just because now they're coming to a point where it's not going to be mandatory for you to wear masks, but we should always be careful because you're still seeing this. Right. You're still seeing people contracting COVID. You're still seeing people dying from COVID. For me now, in my perspective, I'm not a nurse, but for there to be a difference between those individuals who have been vaccinated and or caught COVID, because I believe people who caught COVID and recover from it, I believe that they're good too. I mean, I don't know now, but I believe because their bodies were able to create.
I'm telling everybody, nobody's safe.
Exempt.
It's not over. Act like as if it was 2020. Let's go back to that same. Get your Lysol, spray your house down. Be selective who you bring in your house.
Okay.
Continue to do the same thing as if COVID was here, like right now. And I think you won't have a problem. And people who feel like, oh, I ain't gonna catch COVID again. Yes, you can. You can catch it 2 times, 3 times, 4 times, however many times you can get it. If your body is weak and your immune system, sometimes us nurses, we are so beat up to where we don't get any sleep. Now, I've been traveling over here, there, and time difference, depriving of my sleep. I sit up till 5 o'clock in the morning when I came back from Hawaii. I was sitting up going to sleep at 6 o'clock.
Time change.
Then I found myself getting a cold. I'm like, oh no, my immune system is breaking down because I'm sleep deprived. Well, if you sleep, your immune system will break down. You need to get a regimen, get some melatonin, make yourself go to sleep. Take some time, make yourself go to sleep. Sleep for day. Try to get your body used to sleeping if you can. I know people gotta grind, but you got to rest yourself. You got to rest. You have to take care of yourself. You got to do those. And people who are just joining in, you have to do your checkups.
Yeah.
You have to go and make your PCP. If you feel like something ain't right, listen. Don't be afraid to say, listen, I need a checkup. I need all of my blood work. What are you thinking? You ain't got to say, okay, no, doc. Sometimes you got to tell them. You know, you ain't got to even be feeling sick. And then you will never know what's brewing, because sometimes cancer could be brewing and you don't even know it until it's too late because you didn't get it. So that's one of those things. I mean, I'm like me, I'm a nurse and I don't drink water. I know I have to do better. Of course.
Pepsi.
Right. I drink Pepsi all day, but I know it's not good for my skin. I know it's not good for my kids. I know, ketones come from Coke, Coke soda, drink it, just for no reason. I know I have to do better. And
Lord.
Drink water, I feel relieved. Everybody say, yeah, drink water and mind your business. I drink Pepsi and mind my business, but I drink more water. Really, I do. And I'm like, how can you be a nurse and somebody to drink water and you don't? You know?
Yeah.
Drink
water and drink water and yeah, drink water and I'm gonna mind your business because you need to be drinking water.
That's one of the main things. Continue to wash your hands, continue to stay continue to drink the tea, continue to take your vitamins, continue to take the vitamin C, continue to make sure that you are protecting your body from things that's what happened.
That's all Shell say, Lord. Pray right now that my cousin Ted drink water. Shell, we've been praying that prayer for about 10, 11, 12 years. She might have 1 cup now, cuz.
I don't know. I drink like bottles, like me. Like I said, okay. Now, mind you, only thing I've been doing since I've been home from Hawaii, because I ain't been eating like that. I've been eating my behind. I'm like, oh Lord, I ain't walking like 2 rows, but all of that stuff. I'm like, oh God, I need to get it back. Right.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah. I know, Cheryl. I'm gonna do better. I promise.
I'm trying. I'm gonna lift her up in prayer, cuz.
Better. But it's nice to get, and I wish we had more viewers, but I hope that people can look back and look at the clip, because we've been talking for a little over an hour, and also just me letting you guys know that COVID has not gone anywhere, even though we're outside. Continue to, with that same urgency as we have in 2022, continue to wash your hands, continue to take the hand sanitizer, continue to wear your public. I know sometimes you be like, okay, now you go out to a club or you go out to a restaurant and you like, okay, nobody wearing no mask. But listen, ain't nobody in my face either. I don't
No, I'm too germophobic for that, child. For people to be in my face now.
Facing all up in my face like that, no. People do, and I'm guilty of that, because I'll go out to eat and I ain't have no mask on or whatever. But guess what Tan do? I make sure I get tested the next day, or I make sure if I'm out in the crowd with a bunch of people and I haven't had a mask on, I make sure that I get tested, even if I'm not feeling symptomatic. I don't have.
Okay, well, I'm gonna go ahead and get tested, because I was at the New Edition concert.
Houston a turn up town, but
let me tell you something.
But
I
what,
was at the Houston concert on Friday, New Edition and Jodeci, so I'm gonna have to.
right.
I gotta go on here to get tested because I
Um,
was singing with no man.
right, and the home test that they actually gave us, I only got one more left. I listen, I constantly want. Okay, now mind you, I just got a call from New Mexico. I'm going to New Mexico on Sunday. The
Yeah.
doctor calls me and she's like, "Okay, I got to ask you these questions about COVID. Were you exposed to anybody? Did you do this? I said, listen, I went and took a test on Monday, so I know I don't have COVID. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I took one at the house, and I ain't trust that one because of what Quran, and then I went and took another one. No, completely negative. I'm like, so she says, well, we're gonna continue to test you every week. I know when we were in Hawaii, they wanted to test us every week, and that was fine with me because
Right.
I'm working with COVID patients. Just test me. I went and got a flu shot, and every time I get the flu shot, I get sick. I get the flu for some reason, and I'm like, I don't even want to do the flu shot no more. Like, I'm exempting that. I'm exempting this, that. I just don't want it because then my body react different to it. I'm like, ooh, I felt like I got COVID. I'm not going to, no, every time I feel like, even if I don't feel good a little bit, I go and take a test. And
Okay.
if I'm hanging out in a concert table, I'm going to go take a test to make sure. Because sometimes
Okay. I'm gonna go tomorrow
you can make
because
you
it's been a heavy weekend. So I ain't gonna lie.
yeah,
Hey Shell, Derek, Keisha, all us was in this club called Faces, this lounge, and there was so many people there. So I think Derek, all us need to go on ahead and retest because it was off the chain in there. But
right.
that's not what we talking about. So going back to Alicia, she said the health insurance companies are sending everyone 4 free tests. Like, what do you mean?
Yeah.
Are you saying that they giving you the home test, or you could go there and be tested? Huh?
At these jobs, and when I go to the travel assignment.
No. She's saying that the health insurance companies are now allowing people to have 4 free tests.
Oh yeah, that's
Because
fine. But
before I think it was 1.
the government also said household can get 4 tests too. So that's where I got my test from when the government first said they send a test to the houses. I'm not sure, but if your insurance company is getting you, and you might as well get it. But guess what? I don't even rely on a home test because I still go out. The line is not even long, people.
Just go.
Nobody has any urgency now to take the test because they feel like they don't need to. People like, you know what, I don't even want to know if I got COVID because everything's a big secret. And then they could have COVID and like, nah, I think I just got a cold. And nobody getting tested. Nobody's getting tested no more because then even if you feel like you done been hanging out all weekend and you don't know if you got COVID and you just like, okay, I got a little cold. You feel like you just got a little cold. Go get tested just to make sure that you're not bringing that stuff around somebody that you know what I'm saying, that you love dear, because then you go and you feel guilty about that. That's why, like before every time I come home from my assignment, I make sure I take a test before I come around my mom because I'm going to tell her before.
Yeah.
So
that's true.
She missed me. Oh, come get me.
Hey, Mommy.
Let me take my test first. Then I'll come and get you, Mom. Okay?
Right.
Not gonna put that. I'm just telling you guys that's how I do it. I'm not sure how everybody does it, but I feel like if people were upfront with their COVID status, people not telling you, man, that's sad because you don't know how people can react to. You may think that a 20-year-old can oh man, I could come around her with COVID. She'll be okay. You don't know that. You don't know.
You don't. Yeah, that's true.
How COVID can attack
true.
somebody from somebody else's body. It can
it's true. I agree 100%.
You could be okay, and then that person won't be okay, and then you're gonna feel guilty, and you gotta hold your head down with guilt because you done killed somebody, family member, because you know you had COVID and you done been around them, sitting around their house. Be selective, man, who you have in your house, man. I'm serious. Like,
So I got one more question, sis, before we close it out. Thank you guys again. Clara said thank you for the information. Clara said thank you. Hi, Clara. How are you? So 2 more questions before we close this out, because this is some good information and we could talk about this all day. Now, those people who have been vaccinated, again, we have a choice whether we want to get vaccinated or not. those who got vaccinated, do you think they need the booster? Like somebody like myself, do you think I need a booster? Or if somebody was in my case where you got vaccinated, had COVID, recovered from it, do you think that that still requires a booster, or is that optional at this point?
The booster is optional at this point because the booster is supposed to give you that extra like with the vaccination. And I feel like if you're gonna be like with you, Tav, you're a teacher and you've been fully vaccinated. I don't think that the booster should be like recommended on you like right away. You just took the vaccination, your second one, right? And it
Yeah.
has here, so you should still be good or whatever. And I think the booster is still kind of like in the new beginning phases or whatever in the thing. And you know, I recently got the booster a week
You
ago.
did?
Yeah,
How did it affect your body?
Actually, the booster actually gave me a cold, and I'm like, I was sick. I felt sick, and I'm like, what's going on? Like, how am I supposed to be feeling sick? So, you know, I went and took a COVID test. Every time I feel sick a little bit, I'm gonna take a COVID test. That's how I do it. But I'm like, oh dang, it done gave me a cold. It really made me sick. It kind of knocked me down, like, you know. And I was like, not expecting that because, for the simple fact, even when I got the vaccinations, actually it didn't do anything to me. I was in Dallas. It just made me sleepy. The second one made me sleepy. The first one didn't do nothing but just had my arm sore. The second one actually made me sleepy. And I thought I was gonna be like, oh Lord, I don't know what I was thinking, like what it was gonna do. And like I said, different people, it does different people bodies different. It kind of like play on whatever you got going on because
that's good. She'll say Auntie took the booster and she was good. That's good.
Oh, that's good to know. So she got the booster and she okay. That's good. Auntie Joe good. That's good. Tell her I appreciate her doing it. And she was good. I don't know, that booster made me sick. And I was like, you know what? If they come up with a second, third, whatever, listen, y'all gonna have to tie me down. I ain't getting no.
The booster is the same 10, or is it different kind of boosters? Like you got Pfizer and
I had Pfizer. So I had the Pfizer vaccine. So I had to get the Pfizer booster. You understand? So it has to be if you took Moderna,
it has to be the same whatever you get.
Johnson, got to stay with Johnson. I don't even think Johnson out there anymore because it caused blood clots. That's what I was told about that. So everything was so new in the beginning with the vaccines. I'm like, you know what? Listen, I told my job, they was out all the way down to the end. Tangela, you the only one that didn't get vaccinated. I said, and I'm going, hey, what you trying to say?
Right. Because you had to be ready. You got to be ready to get that stuff.
And I'm like, and what they got to do? Ma'am, what you telling me?
Shell, did you get vaccinated? How many people on this line got vaccinated? If you did, just say yes in the comment. And if you got the booster, you know, what did it do for you? Before we get ready to close out, again, thank you so much, sis, for coming on and sharing all the wealth of information. I remember when you first started traveling nursing and being able to see, you know, people dying from this thing, you had to take a break. And I was like concerned for you because I know you saw a lot of deaths before, but as it relates to COVID, I know that was new for you. And so I was proud as a psychologist and as an educator, I know how important it is for us to take mental breaks. And so I was happy that, like, some people keep going and going, like Tanya, I don't know if she's on the line, but she keeps going and going and going, but she needs to take a mental break as a nurse. And so I was very, very proud of you for that. So, you know, I love you. And I thank you for being our family nurse, because you're our family nurse. You're the one we go to for all questions and concerns for free.
No, okay. The thing is, like with that, the mental break is needed because for some time I was battling with myself with what I saw, And I thought, like, me being an ICU nurse, that I can handle everything. Like, okay, we can have the occasional clothes or whatever. But for you to have 3 people dying and sometimes 2 people coding at the same time, where's the staff at? And you got to run in that patient's room. Patient got COVID and you have to go in that room and be dressed all the way up. And you continue to keep on all of this hot stuff with a room full of people, coding these people, giving them, you know, trying to keep them alive. And it's like really, really, you know, it's really, really, I'm reading stuff tape on my thing. It's really, sad. And it made me so sad to you know, witness that and to actually see you know, different people, like different folks who lost different, you know, family members and stuff to COVID.
Yeah, that was kind of hard.
It's so heartbreaking. And you know, and I was on the phone with Queasy. I told her I was gonna be on live, but she lost her mom to COVID. So, and the thing is, like, I was so involved in her.
You were, yeah. I remember.
Every morning, you know, and it became so draining. Like, and then plus for me to come back, like, from Dallas of what I saw, and from being on the front line of that, and you even if you a little bit, like, you don't, like, you doing a cold or whatever, and you start feeling, I started mentally thinking that I was sick because I done had so many COVID patients. I felt yucky. I would come home from the hotel and have a plastic bag in front of my door. And remember, I know you know from the beginning when the hotels were offering the nurses free stays, I stayed in the hotel for 3 months not to be around my family, to bring them anything. Stayed in the hotel just because, before I even started traveling. So even now traveling, I put a plastic bag in front of my door and I get naked right there. I don't bring none of that stuff, like anything, like the shoes, I take it and put it outside. If somebody gonna walk off with my shoes outside of my hotel room, they can have them. Okay.
Yeah.
Outside the hotel room and let them stay, and spray my Lysol. I take my Lysol every assignment. I take my Lysol. I change my blankets. I bring my own sheets. I bring my own towel and rags when I do my travel. That's why my bag be so packed, because I have all of this stuff. And you got a big old thing of Lysol. I spray everything down, wiping all the stuff down, bleaching my hotel room to the max, because you don't know how many nurses done been in this hotel room that you don't know if they cleaning it right, because then now you got to be you know, that you gotta protect yourself, and then protect others too. So then that's why I'm like, you know what, because even when I was coming home, I was like, Karan, don't touch me yet, let me just take the stuff off, you know. A cap, got this, I don't want nothing in my eyes, I don't want this, I don't want that, you know. Hey, I'm gonna protect. If I got a wig on, I'm gonna take my wig, because I ain't gonna.
You throw your wigs away, Tan, or you wash it?
No, and I have a cap on my head. Even braids now.
You ain't messing up. Hey, you ain't messing up them $400-500 wigs from Brandy.
No. Brandy gonna have another.
Shout out to Brandy.
Shout out to Brandy for my wig.
Shout out to Brandy for the wig.
She had my wig delivered up in Oregon for me. Girl, honey, I was like, honey, lifesaver.
You gotta leave them home, honey.
Girl, listen,
you can't take them with you.
No, but I spent some money on the wig, but I still appreciate it. But I'm gonna cover it up, you know, right? Oh no, my braids, even my braids. Some people in Hawaii that never saw my braids unless they're gonna see me on the beach, because I have my hair wrapped up. You're not even gonna. You ain't gonna see I'm not made up. I'm not this. I'm not that. I don't have nothing. Listen, I be plain Jane, Nurse Wade. Okay, I'm just that. I ain't coming there to impress nobody. I ain't trying to get no man in no hospital. And, you know what I'm saying?
Be Blaze Boutique, baby. Y'all look her up. We're actually gonna have her and Melissa on. Hopefully they're gonna come on in May. They booked it busy over there in Tampa, honey, in St. Pete area. So you guys make sure that you log on to Be Blaze, and of course 3 Generations. That's our family. We love them so much. You know, everybody in our family is gifted, talented. You know, we're a blessed group of people. We thank God for our grandmothers, our aunts, our moms. You know, grandma had 7 kids and all of them blessed, you know, and they had all of us, all the cousins, and we're blessed. And the grandchildren are blessed. The next generation, I mean, they're just doing it big time. And we're grateful for that.
On the phone with Auntie Lee. I mean, no, Auntie Lou, and I told her to try to get on, and she told me that Corinthia was going to get her on. She was on earlier. I saw Corinthia on earlier, but if you guys, we're going to be ending this live soon, but if you guys want to go back and see it, Taba's going to post it so you guys can go and come back and miss whatever you missed. You can actually go back and see exactly what I talked about as far as China, as far as the vaccinations, as far as the booster, as far as the CDC and what the CDC says, and as COVID goes, and the new nurses that's thinking about traveling. Don't do it for the money. You have to be in it with your heart, because guess what? All money is not good money. And you know, I got an offer to go over there. They talking about they want to send nurses over there to Ukraine for $20K a week. Yeah, of course, but am I gonna be able to spend my $20K? No. And not most likely if they bombing the hospitals, not gonna do that.
Ukraine. You're not going to know Ukraine. They bombing, they got war over there.
I'm going to New Mexico, baby. I'm not.
Oh, you can go to New Mexico. We approve that, but you ain't going to Ukraine.
On the New Mexico, baby.
So Melissa birthday May 22nd. Hey, she coming to Houston. Come through.
Well,
we here.
And it all depends on how long I'm gonna be on this assignment. So I'm gonna let y'all know. But thank you guys, and thank you, Taba, for having me to talk.
Of course, sister. Listen,
I hope I inspired some nurses, some nurses who thinking about being a nurse. Just do it from your heart, because this is a very hard profession. It's not easy. It's not for the weak. You have to study. You have to really, really want it. And this is something that you really, really have. Don't come on saying, okay, I want to be a nurse because I want to make that money. That money is not going to always be there. I'm making this money because I know I got an end plan and the end goal to try to be debt free by this year with this travel money.
Amen.
You know, so, you know, everybody has to have a goal and a reason behind what they're doing. Like I said, I've always wanted to travel. This is something that's not new. This is that's just ain't coming up. This is something that's just my opportunity and my time now to take advantage of what I can take advantage of right now at this age.
Thank you guys.
So long. I've since 97, you know, so it's been a very, very long time that I've been in this field, and I've seen things before COVID, you know, when at the hype of AIDS, when AIDS was really something. Nobody ain't talking about AIDS no more. Nobody even talk about it. Everybody talking about COVID. Everybody talking about things that you know, COVID gonna kill you faster than AIDS would probably, you know. But this is what I'm saying. Like it's just so sad. Everybody just stay prayed up. Continue to watch. Continue to go with your Lysol spray down. Be selective. Have house. Make sure people that's around you are solid people. Be transparent with you about them giving that they stop. They talk. They got just. Honey, go get tested after they coughed in your face, because you
absolutely.
So just protect yourself. Make sure you still take your tea, your echinacea, take your regimen, your vitamin regimen. Continue to do that. Work out, drink water. Talking to myself too, but this is what I'm saying. Everybody does that, and we go back to what we did in 2020. And with that being said, everybody will be, you know, stay safe. Stay blessed, you know, and thanks for having me, sis.
Absolutely. I wanna say a word of prayer for those of you online that know somebody that has COVID or that's in the hospital that's dealing with COVID. Again, like my sister said, stay safe. It's okay to wear the mask even if people are looking at you strange. And like she said, you are the determining factor of what you want to put inside your body. Either you want to be vaccinated or you don't. It's totally up to you. But at the end of the day, you gotta stay prayed up and you gotta allow God to be the center of your work, because He's the one that brought all of us, my family, my sisters, my cousins, my aunts who had COVID, my nephews, my niece who had COVID. We're standing here today by the grace of God, and we're no different. So if we could believe and trust in who he is to bring us through, surely you can too. So right now, Father, in the name of Jesus, we just want to thank you for this live. We thank you for my sister who has been traveling across cities and states and just being a beacon of light for so many people. And not only is she a nurse, Lord, she's been going into these rooms and offering people hope. And for that, I am grateful. Thank you for keeping her of a sound mind. Thank you for showing her when and where to take those mental breaks. And God, as she continued to travel and as she continued to go to New Mexico, let her continue to be a beacon of light in that place too as well. Thank you for all the nurses that are listening tonight. Thank you for the patients. Thank you for the sisters, the brothers, my cousin that's online who we love so very much. Thank you for protecting her and Melissa and Brandy. And as they go to these different events, we thank God for our mom who has really, she's the reason why we are who we are today, educators in nursing. It is because of my mom's prayers that we are here and our family introducing us, she introducing us to God and maintaining that faith. We thank God for you, Mom, tonight. And thank you for how you continue, Lord Jesus, to bless her with words of wisdom. She's guided us since we were young, and she continues to guide us with her wisdom and love. And we are so grateful for that right now. And to everyone that will come on and take a listen to this live that's going to be posted, I want you to have hope. You can do it. You can do all things through Christ that strengthens you. You can do it. You can come out of it. God has the final say so. Whose report are you going to believe? You must believe the report of the Lord. And we just give you all the praise, all the honor, and the glory for a successful live. And guys, thank you so much for tuning in to It's Not That Hard to Talk About. Actually, it's not hard to talk about. Make sure you subscribe to our channel. Send us some hearts for Miss Tangela Wade, Miss Nurse Wade, our family nurse. And I'm just so grateful for you, sis. And God bless all of you. Thank you all for all the hearts. You see the hearts, Tan? They're coming in, baby. My sister. Right. I love you, big sister. Love you, Shell. Love you, Shell.
With everybody, and share the live. Share. Thank you.
Bye. Bye, guys. Mwah, mwah.